Hey guys, I'm Janet, on occasion, and today we're playing the Total War Warhammer II Battle Replay. So, just a quick battle at the moment, you know, I'm going to do some more tournament stuff later. But, yeah, this was a fun one, so I thought it's got to go up. Mainly because I'm against a guy called David Hasselhoff, who's playing as the Greenskins, which I just think is hilarious. So, as you can see, 2 Rights Guard in the forest. We've got some spearmen to back them up, just in case. I've also got some silver bullets. I actually went with some crossbowmen this time around. I wanted something a bit cheaper, in case he brought the goblin sort of firing squad. I didn't want my handgunners to be torn to pieces. But I wanted to make sure I had silver bullets for lords and spiders. So, yeah, having the crossbowmen, I quite like. They're not bad at this matchup. You don't often see crossbowmen, though. So, you know, a bit different. Also, frontline of swordsmen. So, just, you know, shields and bit of melee defense, they can hold for a little while. Back them up with the great swords. I've also got some more spearmen with shields here, and I have another unit of spearmen in the back. So they're led by Boris Todbringer, so absolute powerhouse, and you know, he can regenerate. He's a hell of a guy. So it should be good. And because he regenerates, I don't necessarily need Law of Life, especially because I don't have like a load of demigriffs and things. Sure, I've got the Rights Guard, but nothing too expensive in terms of single models. So except Boris, who can heal himself. So no Law of Life. I just brought 2 Amber Wizards. So I just want to spam Flock of Doom a lot on their infantry to help my state troops maybe actually win a frontline engagement for once, because you know what state troops are like. So yeah, it should be fun. So obviously it's both on foot. I often bring them on griffins, but I decided to save myself the hassle, you know, and the massive expense. These guys are only about 400 each if you just have them on foot with nothing but Flock of Doom. I think about, you know, around 500 if they've just got the Power Stone. So these 2 guys, 1,000 quid. It's pretty cheap. They are dirt cheap, in fact. So, because I've got a nice wide front line, it should be easy to protect them. So, it should be good. So, over here, you can see Goblin Wolf Riders and the Broken Tusk Mob. These guys are very scary. They're anti-large, armor-piercing, will do well against the Rights Guard. These guys, not so much. So, yeah, but these guys definitely you want to watch out for. Over here, you can see goblins in the front line, so they can just soak up some arrows and things, which is nice, nice and cheap and cheerful. He's also got the Warlord's Boys and the 8-peak Loonies, which for some reason are still just called Night Goblins in the little text there, which is very strange. He's also got the Crimson Killers. These guys will just murder everything. You got to take them out from a distance. You really do. You want to kill them quickly. They're very scary. Also, you can see Azag the Slaughterer, so he can outrun Boris, and he has Spirit Leech, so that's going to be just great fun for me. Also, you can see the Ragnarok Queen, so he's going to be putting, you know, spider hatchlings down to just, you know, just wrap up my, you know, my ranged units, which would be very irritating. And just so much armor. Basically, the silver bullets and Boris are the only things that can really do damage to this guy. It's going to be rough. Also, in the back line, Savage Orc Biggin, so these guys protect against cavalry, and actually they will rip state troops to pieces. So, it's pretty rough. And also, he's got a Goblin Big Boss, so this guy will be really good. Actually, oh, he's just on foot. I was going to say he'd be really good with his poison attacks, but no, he's not on the spider. But still, you know, nice and cheap, Goblin Big Boss. He'll help. He's got Encourage, so while Azag is flying around the map, Spirit Leeching and being a nuisance, this guy will give everyone 10 leadership. So let's speed things up and see how it goes. So, straight away, I'm going to send Boris into the trees to make sure there are no more like hidden units in here. I saw the Wolf Riders go in, and I could see the Broken Tusk Mob, but I wasn't sure if there was anything else, because you never know. You never know. So here I am moving up with the Rights Guard as well. You can see Azag is coming over here to, well, Spirit Leech Boris. That's basically just what he does in this engagement. Luckily though here, I do get a load of free shots at him, which is really nice. So yeah, pretty significant damage. I get another couple of volleys off, except unfortunately the silver bullets did decide to rotate, which is irritating. But yeah, look at that, good damage. I get my crossbowman shooting him as well. So yeah, not bad. So here Spirit Leech comes down, and obviously pretty good damage. So, in a second, if I hold spacebar, you can actually see, I'm going to charge in here, because I decide, with, you know, Boris's help, I reckon I can deal with these guys, and then I won't have to worry about them for the rest of the engagement, because, you know, with all state troops, they're not very maneuverable. So, I wanted to make sure that I could wrap these guys up nice and quick. So, yeah, the Wolf Riders, they don't have any hope of doing anything in here, but the Broken Tusk Mob are very dangerous, and with a Fate of Boona helping out, this is actually pretty scary for me. Luckily though, I am getting Spearmen in to back them up, you know, as planned. So as long as I can keep in the fight long enough, that will help. So yeah, I get a Flock of Doom in here to do some damage, which is rather nice, so that'll definitely hurt. So, but yeah, this is going to be rough, honestly. This is going to be very rough. So yeah, Broken Tusk Mob. I've lost 1 unit in Rights Guard already. They are shattered. which is insane. That's just how crazy Fated Buna is, but it's very expensive, which means he won't have quite as many Spirit Leeches for Boris. So here, Broken Tusk Mob are broken. They aren't shattered. Oh, they're not broken, actually. They're just terrified. So I'm going to try and chase them down, finish them off. Over here, the frontline engagement is beginning to happen. So he sends in the Spider Hatchlings first to try and break any potential charge. And here, I actually need to get the Silver Bullets over here again. They can't be dealing with Azag. They need to get in here and start getting some good damage on the Arachnarok Queen. So I also get my crossbowmen firing at him. They don't do a lot of armor piercing, but that will help a bit. It might have been more worthwhile just hitting the Savage Orc Biggins. But coming in with a Flock of Doom, start doing some damage to these guys. So it'll help. It'll also help whittle down the Crimson Killers. I also get these 2 units with a Flock of Doom. So, you know, it all helps whittle them down. So that's nice. Fanatics come in here, do some great damage to the Spearmen. Love the Fanatics. I always forget to use them whenever I bring them. So here, I'm trying to get the Spearmen in here to block. So lucky I've got a lot of reserves. So over here now, they are shattered, but these guys are very far away from the frontline engagement. And there's an Arachnarok Queen here, so I need to get in here nice and quickly. That is a lot of expense I've got wrapped up over there. So it's rough, but luckily we've got a lot of melee defense in this front line. So, but still, this is tough. So another Flock of Doom, it's everything, so this again will just help whittle them down. Unfortunately the Crimson Killers still got so much health. Really, I should have probably just had the crossbowmen focus them down. I know it's not the best, you know, they don't have a lot of armor piercing, but I needed to whittle them down. They are so rough. So here you go, Boris is coming in. I think I do come in, nope, I changed my mind. I decided to try and go for Azag, because he was coming in over the top. I wasn't sure if he'd notice or not. So I think I do actually get a hit on him. Nope, he does outrun me. That is annoying. So Spirit Leech comes in, but I will be using Boris over here to try and win this flank, I think. But this isn't good. So those great swords got overwhelmed. Luckily I do have some Rights Guard that can do some charging, and that will, you know, keep these guys busy for a while. So that's not bad. My 2 Amber Wizards, they're basically out of Winter Magic already, which is rough. I don't know how I got through Winter Magic so quickly, but it basically just stopped refreshing. It was very bad. So here, Boris and Azag are having a bit of a fight. I'm trying to do some damage to the Crimson Killers in here, but yeah, Boris is taking a lot of damage. Luckily, he's still got a lot of room in his healing cap, so as long as he doesn't get completely caught out, I should be able to get him out of there and heal him up a bit more. And Azag is taking some good damage here. But here, I am trying to hit the Crimson Killers with the Silver Bullets, because I need that armor-piercing damage on these guys. I need to deal with them. So some swordsmen are going to be coming back. I'm being chased here by the Rights Guard, and that is perfect. I want him to be chasing me, because frankly, if he's chasing me with these units, they're not killing anything. So that's great for me. So Fanatics come in, do some okay damage, so not bad. But I'm charging these units, because they're the weakest, and then I can just keep pulling this guy through spears. I've also got Boris in here, trying to do some damage to the Goblin Big Boss, because he's an easier target for me. But the Arachnarok's coming in, so I'm going to get away with him and the Cavalry. My Great Swords and the Spearmen can hold this for a bit. Over here, my Spearmen are holding pretty damn well, actually. I'm pretty proud of these guys. They've held out. So they do have the best melee defense out of the Empire infantry, so it does help. And here I am actually taking out these Crimson Killers. I've just run away my crossbowmen, who are quicker. So I can just get a load of free shots on them, which is great. And now that I'm retreating with my Rights Guard, they can run in and attack the Crimson Killers. I'm just going to I have to keep pathing them, because there's so much on their tail. They do want to turn around and fight, so I'm having to keep commanding them to, you know, change their mind. For some reason all my infantry pulled out. I'm not entirely sure why. I think they must have been chasing someone, maybe the Savage Orc Biggins. So I need to charge these guys back in. So here we go. And yeah, so those Crimson Killers pretty hurt now. So I get some more damage on Azag, which is nice. Over here, Boris came back in the fight just to try and help win this line. But this is rough. Yeah, the Savage Orc Biggins, they don't have a lot of armor piercing, but they got high weapon damage, and they are anti-large, so that is going to hurt Boris a lot. He is really on the edge right now. I'm trying to get some more damage on Azag with the Silver Bullet, but he's throwing spiders at me, which is genius. That's a great use of the spiders, because that is the most dangerous unit on the field right now for me. Well, for him. It's my most dangerous unit. So here, I'm sending Boris to try and deal with the spider hatchlings, but it does allow Azag to charge me, which is pretty rough. So I'm going to start shooting at him with everything I can. He's used War, which will basically just augment his own abilities, but luckily the Silver Bullets are free to attack, so I'm turning them around and attacking. I've got all my crossbowmen focused on him because I need to win this duel. Here, you know, Spider Queen's a bit wrapped up, and I got a nice rear charge of the Rights Guard incoming. But this is tense. Basically, next hit wins. But luckily, he breaks. So Boris right now has hit his healing cap, so he can't get any more healing. Oh, actually, he can get a little bit more healing. But he'll probably only have about 500 health once he's healed up. And that is not good. That's like, you know, one good hit from the Arachnarok Queen will kill Boris. So that's dangerous. But luckily he hasn't routed yet, so the rest of my guys aren't going to hit that debuff. So that is fantastic. And here I've got a lot of state troops still going. I'm going to be able to bring swordsman back. I've still got some crossbowmen. But he's still got the Arachnarok Queen. And so far the silver bullets is the only thing that can damage it right now. So Arachnarok Queen probably should have charged straight in here. Hit the silver bullets. Tried to get on top of Boris. Done whatever he could over here, really. And because the spearmen weren't going to last much longer. So my Rights Guard are trying to do what they can. They're pretty heavily armoured, which will help against a lot of the stuff, but not the Arachnarok Queen, and they are getting a bit sandwiched. Luckily, these guys are about to break, so they can flee out of this pretty easily. So here, more Fanatics come in. These guys are unbreakable. So, you know, I've got to kill them all, basically. They can just keep chasing my silver bullets. And now that he's charging everything else in, I need to get these guys in position, or else that Arachnarok Queen is just going to charge in and terrify everything. So I've got some more spearmen coming. The Rights Guard will be able to come back in. Boris is holding steady now. He's not wavering, but my god, he is injured. How much health has he got? 440. Sorry, 60. But that is not enough. So here I do actually have some swordsmen. They're going to go for the flank, but then I see this unit coming in. So I go for the goblins instead, because I want to chase these guys off. I can't have these guys getting in the back line and stopping them from shooting. And this is strange, actually. The Arachnarok Queen is just dealing with my state troops. To be fair, he has just terrified everything away. I guess he thought they'll break soon, and then I can deal with the ranged units. But that was getting me a lot of free damage. But now he has gotten silver bullets, and that's pretty rough. So with all my state troops starting to run, I've had to send my Amber Wizards into melee. They're not great at this. But they're holding their own. They're doing okay. They do actually have okay, melee attack of 50, which is pretty good. And here I do manage to actually get a clutch move with Boris. Just one charge, and I'm able to shatter the Arachnarok Queen, which is so lucky. Because if that Arachnarok Queen hadn't routed and turned around and attacked Boris, Boris would be dead. And, you know, a dead Boris is an unhappy Boris. So, you know, you've got to remember that. It's a good thing to know. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with how this went, because the Empire, it's tough playing as the Empire at the moment. Hopefully things will change in the next patch. There's a lot of rumours of a lot of balancing coming in with the Tomb Kings patch. You know, with the Tomb Kings DLC, because I mean it's the first big update since Mortal Empires, right? So yeah, it's due for a balance pass. So, but you know, Empire is still such good fun. So even though they're pretty gimped at the moment, it's well worth using them. They're so fun. So the Amber Wizards, I'm pretty happy with how they did. They did damage across the board. With those Flocks of Doom. That definitely helped. But actually I think a Life Wizard might have been better, just to keep my guys in the fight a little bit longer. So, you know, it could have helped. Boris, I'm really happy with how he did. The fact that he's able to heal through all those Spirit Leeches, that was phenomenal. One thing, though, is he wouldn't have been able to if Azag hadn't used all of those Winds of Magic on that Fate of Buna. But taking out an entire unit of Reichsguard with a single spell, you know, it's hard to argue, right? It's very hard to argue with that. But yeah, because I mean, if he'd kept the Arachnarok Queen going, if he'd managed to take out the silver bullets, Boris wouldn't have been able to fight the Arachnarok Queen and Azag. So you know, it's rough. But I think Azag might have taken a bad engagement there. It looked like he would win, but luckily I just had enough ranged units that could turn around and deal with him. That you know, I was able to tip that duel in my favour. But my God, it was close. That was rough. Definitely. But state troops, they did fine, honestly. I'm quite happy. You know, 30 kills, at least, each. Obviously not spearmen, because, you know, the spearmen without shields are a bit rubbish. But still, you know, 30 kills, spearmen with shields, 59, like 34. These are good kills for spearmen with shields. These are a holding force. So I'm pretty happy with how they performed. Also, the swordsmen did okay. One unit of great swords just got mobbed so hard on my right flank that they didn't last very long, unfortunately. You know, they just took a queen to the face. Whereas this greatsword, yeah, did great on the other side. Got through a lot of guys. Rights Guard, the ones that survived, did great. They were just constantly just pogoing from one unit to another. So I'm really happy with the performance out of this army. But, you know, the Amber Wizards did somehow run out of Winds of Magic so quickly. And I'm not entirely sure how they ran out so quickly. Usually you can spam Flock of Doom for a long time. But this time, not so much. So, over here, like, you know, Savage Orc Boarboy Biggins, these guys are just great against the Empire. I mean, they're so good at dealing with enemy cavalry, but they're also great at dealing with state troops. They will just kill pretty much anything. They do cost a fair bit, I think they're 800-900. So they are quite expensive, but they get a lot of work done. You know, they're very versatile units. You just don't want them getting shot at. and I think I could have really helped out my front line if I just got the crossbowmen to fight them, to shoot at them straight away, because the crossbowmen didn't do a hell of a lot of damage against the Ragnarok Queen, but it would have meant I would have had more infantry wrapping up the Queen for longer, and, you know, I could have shot at him later. So, yeah, slight miss micro there. You know, well, it wasn't micro, it was a, you know, a choice. But I think I did the wrong one there. But luckily I did win out. So, you know, got to be happy about that. So guys, if you enjoyed this, please do comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Have a good day, guys.